Blazing Saddles not only makes a strong impression with its content, but the lines of each character cause uncontrollable laughter. Yet, hidden amidst the laughter and brilliance of Mel Brooks' creation lies a surprising revelation. The film's most loved line was, in fact, a serendipitous mistake. Let's review the incredibly amusing lines from Blazing Saddles. The one joke that didn't make it into the film. Mel Brooks is renowned for his irreverent and boundary-pushing comedy, and Blazing Saddles is a prime example of his fearless approach to humor. However, even in a film known for its audacious jokes, there was one gag that crossed a line even for Brooks himself. This particular scene involves Sheriff Bart, portrayed by Cleavon, visiting Lili Von Shtupp, played by Madeline Kahn. The deleted joke unfolds when Von Shtupp, in her characteristically provocative manner, flirts with Bart. The scene takes a turn when she blows out some candles, setting the stage for an exchange that was deemed too risque for the final cut of the film. In his explanation during an appearance on Conan in 2012, Mel Brooks shed light on the omitted punchline. In her distinct German accent, Von Shtupp asks Sheriff Bart, "Is it true what they say about you people?" The setup implies a reference to racial stereotypes, a theme that Blazing Saddles often tackled with satire. However, the punchline that Brooks chose to exclude from the movie was Bart's response. "I hate to disillusion you, ma'am, but you're sucking on my arm." This jokey, blending innuendo with a clever twist, epitomizes Brooks' penchant for pushing the boundaries of good taste. It is a testament to the filmmaker's willingness to take risks and explore the limits of comedy. Even for someone known for his fearless humor, the decision to cut this particular scene reflects an awareness of the sensitivities surrounding certain topics, even within the context of satire and parody. Are we black? In Blazing Saddles, the introduction of Gene Wilder's character Jim, also known as the Waco Kid, is a poignant moment that sheds light on the character's backstory and serves as a crucial commentary on racial attitudes in the fictional town of Rock Ridge. The scene unfolds at a juncture when Jim is in a state of deep despair, having lost his nerve following a shootout with a young boy. He copes with his trauma by turning to alcohol and spending his nights in the sheriff's drunk tank. As the narrative progresses, Jim wakes up to a changed reality, one where Bart has become the first black sheriff of Rock Ridge. In this context, the line, "Are we black?" spoken by Jim becomes a powerful and revealing moment. It serves as a stark contrast to the racist sentiments prevalent in Rock Ridge. Jim's question showcases his disoriented state and highlights his lack of concern for racial distinctions. Instead, his focus is on grappling with the surreal nature of the situation and, perhaps more significantly, on addressing his immediate need for alcohol. This line not only demonstrates Jim's nonchalant and non-racist attitude, but also serves as a subtle commentary on the absurdity of racial prejudices. Jim, in his state of inebriation and disillusionment, cuts through the racial tension that pervades Rock Ridge. His question implies a detachment from the racial biases that define the town's residents. While the people of Rock Ridge are grappling with the idea of a black sheriff, Jim's primary concern is not the color of their skin, but the immediate practicalities of his own existence. "Excuse me while I whip this out." The arrival of Sheriff Bart, portrayed by Cleavon, in Rock Ridge, is a pivotal moment in Blazing Saddles, marked by a unique blend of intense racism and comedic shock. As Bart steps into the town as the newly appointed sheriff, he becomes the focal point of the community's disdain and curiosity. The residents of Rock Ridge, initially resistant to the idea of a black sheriff, are simultaneously captivated by the novelty of his presence. This dynamic sets the stage for one of the film's recurring themes, the town's preoccupation with Bart's distinctive attributes, a comedic element that Mel Brooks and his collaborators deftly exploit. The film cleverly plays with the idea of Bart's large talents, using it as a source of humor and satire throughout the narrative. Brooks and his team extract ample comedic mileage from the townsfolk's exaggerated reactions to Bart's arrival, showcasing both their prejudice and their fascination with the unconventional sheriff. One standout scene that exemplifies this humor occurs when Bart attempts to read the governor's decree appointing him as the new sheriff of Rock Ridge. Seizing the opportunity for a well-timed jest, Bart exclaims, "Excuse me while I whip this out," creating an immediate sense of tension and anticipation among the onlookers. The line, laced with innuendo, adds a layer of risque humor to the moment, playing on stereotypes and expectations. The ensuing reaction of the townspeople is a masterclass in comedic timing. As Bart reaches into his trousers, there's a collective gasp of shock and apprehension. The deliberate buildup of suspense gives way to a comedic twist when Bart pulls out the governor's letter instead of what the townsfolk may have feared. The scene not only subverts expectations, but also highlights the absurdity of the racial prejudices prevalent in Rock Ridge. "My name is Jim, but most people call me Jim." The meeting between Bart and Jim in the sheriff's drunk tank is a pivotal scene in Blazing Saddles, not only for its contribution to the plot, but also for the comedic brilliance of Gene Wilder's performance. As the two characters get acquainted, Jim takes the opportunity to introduce himself in a manner that encapsulates the film's satirical take on Western movie tropes. In a fashion that is quintessentially ridiculous, Jim declares his name with deadpan delivery, providing a humorous twist on the stoic and rugged introductions often associated with classic Western characters. However, the comedic absurdity doesn't end there. What makes the moment even more preposterous is Jim's revelation that, contrary to the typical use of intimidating nicknames in the Western genre, he prefers to be called by his real name rather than his notorious moniker, the Waco Kid. Gene Wilder's portrayal of Jim adds an extra layer of humor to the scene. With his trademark hangdog expression and impeccable timing, Wilder delivers the line with a perfect blend of deadpan delivery and comedic sincerity. It's a testament to Wilder's unique talent that he can infuse a seemingly straightforward introduction with a level of absurdity that aligns seamlessly with the film's overall comedic tone. This moment exemplifies one of the recurring motifs in Blazing Saddles, where Wilder's performance becomes a comedic highlight. His ability to juxtapose a deadpan expression with ridiculous lines contributes to the film's irreverent and satirical atmosphere. The scene not only lampoons Western conventions, but also showcases Wilder's comedic prowess, making the Waco Kid a memorable character in the annals of film history. "Yeah, but I shoot with this hand." In Blazing Saddles, Gene Wilder's performance, as Jim, also known as the Waco Kid, is a masterclass in comedic timing and delivery. The film is replete with memorable lines, and one of the standout moments occurs when Jim showcases the contrasting conditions of his hands to Sheriff Bart. This scene not only highlights Wilder's ability to seamlessly blend silliness with a straight-faced demeanor, but also captures the essence of his comedic genius. The interaction begins with Jim drawing attention to his left hand, describing its smoothness as evidence that alcohol hasn't completely wrecked his nervous system. This initial revelation sets the stage for a classic Wilder moment. The true comedic brilliance unfolds when Jim, maintaining his deadpan expression, proceeds to showcase his shooting hand. Instead of the expected display of prowess, the audience is met with a hand that is utterly devastated by uncontrollable shakes. The absurdity of this contrast, coupled with Wilder's laconic voice and straight-faced delivery, creates a moment of sheer comedic genius. It's a testament to Wilder's ability to take a seemingly straightforward scene and infuse it with layers of humor that resonate long after the laughter has subsided. The juxtaposition of Jim's smooth left hand and the shuddering shooting hand becomes a visual metaphor for the character's internal struggle and the toll that his past as a gunslinger has taken on him. Wilder's portrayal of Jim in Blazing Saddles is often regarded as one of his finest performances. This scene exemplifies what made Wilder exceptional: the ability to convey absurdity with subtlety, turning seemingly mundane moments into comedic gold. The actor's contribution to this film is a shining example of his comedic prowess, leaving an indelible mark on the legacy of both the character and the movie itself. "Hello, handsome. Is that a 10-gallon hat, or are you just enjoying the show?" Madeline Kahn's portrayal of Lili Von Shtupp in Blazing Saddles is nothing short of comedic brilliance, elevating the film to new heights with her impeccable timing, razor-sharp wit, and memorable delivery. In a movie already filled with hilarious moments, Kahn's performance as the saucy bar performer becomes a standout element that cements her as a comedic legend. The character of Lili Von Shtupp is introduced through a flamboyant and risque song and dance number where she unapologetically sings about her amorous escapades and the toll it takes on her. This musical interlude not only showcases Kahn's remarkable singing and dancing talents, but also establishes Lili as a character who fearlessly challenges societal norms and revels in her own sensuality. Amidst the entertaining spectacle of the entire song and dance routine, there is one line that stands out as a classic Mel Brooks moment. Kahn, with her distinctive delivery, delivers a zinger that cuts through the hilarity of the scene. This particular line, laden with innuendo and perfectly timed, exemplifies the kind of irreverent humor that has become synonymous with Brooks' style. Kahn's ability to infuse the character with both boldness and vulnerability adds depth to the comedy. While Lili Von Shtupp is overtly provocative, Kahn brings a nuanced touch to the role, allowing the character to transcend mere caricature. Her line reads throughout the film, including the standout zinger, showcase her comedic prowess and contribute to the film's enduring legacy. Stampeding cattle. Through the Vatican. The recruitment scene in Blazing Saddles, orchestrated by the conniving Hedley Lamar as he assembles a gang of outlaws, is a prime example of Mel Brooks's skill in crafting unexpected and hilariously absurd humor. As Lamar interviews potential members for his nefarious gang, the unexpected duo of Jim and Bart, cleverly disguised as members of the Ku Klux Klan, delivers a punchline that takes the joke to a whole new level. In response to Lamar's inquiry about their qualifications, Jim and Bart, maintaining their undercover status, claim to be wanted for stampeding cattle through the Vatican. This unexpected twist in the joke catches the audience off guard, turning a conventional setup into a delightful and absurd revelation. The sheer incongruity of the crime, coupled with the deadpan delivery by Gene Wilder and Cleavon Little, adds an extra layer of hilarity to the scene. What follows is a moment of comedic brilliance when Lamar, seemingly unfazed by the outrageous claim, responds with a casual "kinky" and almost allows the disguised heroes into his gang. This escalation of absurdity is a trademark of Mel Brooks's comedic style, where he takes a seemingly outrageous premise and pushes it to the brink of ridiculousness. The subtlety of Lamar's response adds a touch of irony, as he almost welcomes individuals claiming to have committed a preposterous crime into his criminal fold. The genius of this scene lies not just in the unexpectedness of the joke, but also in its ability to tackle serious subjects with satire. The choice of the Vatican, a symbol of religious sanctity, as the location for the fictional crime, adds an extra layer of irreverence and showcases Brooks's penchant for pushing societal boundaries for comedic effect. Where the white women at? One of the most iconic and frequently quoted moments in Blazing Saddles unfolds during a pivotal scene where Jim, portrayed by the incomparable Gene Wilder, and Bart find themselves facing a pair of Klansmen. In this memorable moment, Jim, in a clever ruse, pretends to capture Bart right in front of the hooded figures. It is in this tense and absurd situation that Bart delivers the now immortal line, "What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?" The brilliance of this line lies not only in its comedic timing, but also in its subversive nature. Bart's use of anachronistic language and the absurdity of the phrase itself serve as a humorous disruption of the serious and racist atmosphere created by the Klansmen. The line not only catches the audience off guard, but also serves as a clever plot device, diverting the attention of the Klansmen and allowing the protagonists to outwit them. The attribution of this particular line to Richard Pryor, one of the film's writers, adds an intriguing layer to its genesis. Pryor's comedic genius and sharp wit are evident throughout Blazing Saddles, and it is said that he had a particular focus on crafting lines for the character Mongo. However, the quoted line in question carries a distinct imprint of Pryor's comedic voice, leading to the speculation that he might have been the driving force behind its creation. The line's irreverent and surreal quality aligns seamlessly with Pryor's style, showcasing his influence on the film's humor. I'd say you've had enough. The campfire scene in Blazing Saddles stands out as a comedic masterpiece, a testament to Mel Brooks's irreverent and boundary-pushing approach to satire. Set against the backdrop of the Western frontier, the scene unfolds with Taggart, the bad boy cowboy, and his fellow cowpokes gathered around the campfire for a seemingly innocuous dinner of beans. What ensues is a hilariously absurd symphony of flatulence and reactions, creating a memorable and iconic moment in the film. The humor in this scene is unabashedly lowbrow, relying on the universal and timeless comedic device of bodily functions. However, Brooks elevates this seemingly crude concept into a comedic spectacle by infusing it with clever dialogue and impeccable timing. The cowboys, portrayed as rough and grizzled characters, engage in a symposium of farting and exaggerated responses, creating a cascade of laughter that transcends the simplicity of the premise. One of the standout lines from the scene occurs when a particularly gassy cowboy requests more beans. In response, Taggart delivers the deadpan retort, "I'd say you've had enough." This line encapsulates the brilliance of Brooks's comedic vision, taking a mundane aspect of cowboy life, eating beans around the campfire, and turning it into a riotous commentary on the conventions of the Western genre. Mel Brooks has revealed that the inspiration for this scene came from his observation of Westerns, where he noticed the prevalence of scenes featuring grizzled cowboys indulging in beans. Recognizing the humorous potential in the natural consequence of such dietary choices, Brooks created a scene that not only lampoons the cliches of Western films, but also transcends cultural and temporal boundaries in its appeal. It's not heady, it's Headley. Headley Lamar. The recurring joke in Blazing Saddles surrounding Headley Lamar's name mispronunciation is a comedic gem that adds a delightful layer of absurdity to the film. Throughout the story, Lamar finds himself perpetually frustrated by the inability of others, including the governor he works for, to correctly pronounce his name. The running gag takes on an extra layer of humor when it's revealed that people keep confusing his name with that of the actress Hedy Lamarr. The humor in this recurring joke is twofold. Firstly, the mispronunciation of Lamar's name, whether intentional or not, reflects the film's irreverent and satirical take on Western tropes. Secondly, The deliberate mix-up with Hedy Lamarr, who was not born until 1914, creates an anachronistic twist. Blazing Saddles is set in 1874, well before the actress would have become famous, turning this into a clever filmmaking faux pas. The anachronism adds an extra layer of absurdity, emphasizing the film's willingness to play fast and loose with historical accuracy for the sake of comedic effect. Harvey Korman's portrayal of Lamarr adds another dimension to the joke. Korman's impeccable comedic timing and his ability to convey frustration through his expressive facial expressions contribute significantly to the humor. The stink face that Korman masterfully executes each time someone mispronounces Lamarr's name becomes a visual punchline, enhancing the comedic impact of the running joke. What makes this joke even more enduring is its timeless quality. Despite being rooted in the specific cultural context of the 1970s, the mispronunciation gag remains funny because of its clever execution and the universal theme of people's consistent inability to get names right. The absurdity of confusing Lamarr with a future celebrity adds an extra layer of humor that transcends the immediate cultural references. Boy, is he strict! The scene in Blazing Saddles, where Hedy Lamarr assembles his gang, is a prime example of Mel Brooks's genius in crafting layered and absurd comedic moments. The specific line you mention, delivered by Taggart after Lamarr shoots a cowboy for not bringing enough gum for everyone, adds an extra layer of humor to an already uproarious sequence. The brilliance of the scene lies in its expert use of juxtaposition and unexpected humor. Lamarr's seemingly disproportionate response to the cowboy chewing gum sets the stage for a cascade of jokes. The act of shooting someone over a trivial matter like not having enough gum for everyone is an absurd and exaggerated take on the strict and merciless boss archetype. Taggart's response, "Boy, is he strict?" becomes a punchline that lands with impeccable timing. The sheer incongruity of a rough and tough desperado expressing concern over his boss's strictness after witnessing a fatal shooting is the kind of offbeat humor that defines Mel Brooks' comedic style. It plays on the unexpected and flips traditional expectations, turning a scene that begins with a seemingly mundane cowboy chore into a chain reaction of absurdity. The humor in this moment is multifaceted. On one level, there's the shock and absurdity of Lamarr's extreme reaction to the gum situation. On another level, there's the unexpected and humorous observation by Taggart, highlighting the absurdity of the entire scenario. The fact that a tough cowboy is worried about his boss being strict in the aftermath of a deadly incident adds an extra layer of silliness that resonates with the film's overall irreverent tone. Badges. We don't need no stinking badges. The iconic line, "Badges, we don't need no stinking badges," from Blazing Saddles has permeated popular culture to the extent that it has become a universally recognized and quoted phrase even by those who may not have seen the film. This particular moment, set in the scene where Hedy Lamarr is interviewing bandits for his nefarious plans, has transcended its origin in the movie and taken on a life of its own in the cultural lexicon. In the film, Lamarr, portrayed by Harvey Korman, hands out badges to a group of banditos, deputizing them for his dubious purposes. This act gives the banditos the opportunity to deliver the now famous line. The humor in this moment lies not only in the defiance expressed by the characters, but also in the absurdity of the situation. The line has become a cultural touchstone, often used to express rebellion, nonconformity, or a dismissive attitude toward authority. What makes this line even more interesting is its origin in the classic film, The Tresur of the Sierra Madre, 1948. The original quote from that film is, "Badges, we ain't got no badges. We don't need no badges. I don't have to show you any stinking badges." The fact that Mel Brooks adapted and repurposed this line for comedic effect in Blazing Saddles speaks to his keen sense of humor and ability to draw from a wide range of influences. Moreover, the line made an earlier appearance in an episode of The Monkees in 1967, 7 years before Blazing Saddles was released. This showcases the longevity and adaptability of certain catchphrases in the world of entertainment as they find new life in different contexts over the years. How many times have I told you to wash up after a weekly cross-burning? The scene in Blazing Saddles, where Hedley Lamarr interviews outlaws, stands out as a comedic goldmine, with each moment delivering laugh-out-loud absurdity. Among the plethora of quotable moments in this scene, one particularly ridiculous and clever joke involves the characters dressing up as members of the Ku Klux Klan to infiltrate Lamarr's group, as Sheriff Bart and his quick-thinking companion Jim don the KKK attire to blend in. A moment of comedic brilliance unfolds. To divert attention from Bart's dark skin, Jim ingeniously pretends that Bart's complexion is not a result of race, but instead ash. The absurdity of the situation reaches new heights as Jim, in a mock display of cleanliness, pretends to rub Bart's skin clean. This clever twist not only subverts expectations, but also uses humor to confront the racial tensions of the time. The audacity of presenting a racial disguise within the context of a comedy is a testament to Mel Brooks' fearless approach to satire. The humor arises not from the racist imagery itself, but from the characters' absurd attempts to navigate and manipulate the situation. Of course, as with many antics in Blazing Saddles, the characters are eventually caught in their ruse. The payoff to this moment is Sheriff Bart's quick-witted response upon being exposed. In a self-aware nod to the absurdity of the situation, he exclaims, "And now for my next impression, Jesse Owens," before making a swift and comical getaway. This joke adds another layer to the scene, incorporating a historical reference to Jesse Owens, the legendary African-American track and field athlete who defied racial prejudice during the 1936 Olympics. In blending historical awareness with comedic absurdity, Mel Brooks infuses the scene with a cleverness that transcends mere slapstick. To Camptown ladies? The early scenes of Blazing Saddles set the stage for the film's irreverent humor, and a standout moment occurs when Bart and his fellow railroad workers are confronted by Lyle and his cowboys. In an attempt to assert dominance and mock the laborers, Lyle demands that the workers sing spirituals, harking back to the time of slavery. However, rather than succumbing to the expected response, Bart and his friends cleverly subvert the situation by singing "I Get a Kick Out of You" by Cole Porter. The choice of a non-spiritual song, especially one from the sophisticated and witty repertoire of Cole Porter, immediately flips the script and defies expectations. This unexpected musical selection not only showcases the character's defiance, but also adds a layer of sophistication and humor to the scene. The humor is further heightened when Lyle, clearly dissatisfied with the workers' choice, requests they sing "De Camptown Ladies." Bart's response, delivered with a blend of condescension and comedic flair, echoes the exact phrase, "De Camptown Ladies." This repetition serves as a clever twist, turning Lyle's demand back on him in a way that exposes the absurdity of the request. The comedic brilliance in this moment lies in the reversal of power dynamics. Instead of complying with the demeaning demand, Bart seizes control of the situation through humor and wit. The use of the same phrase in response serves as a mocking gesture, emphasizing Bart's refusal to be belittled by conforming to stereotypes. Mugs, thugs, pugs, nitwits, half-wits, dimwits. The recruitment scene in Blazing Saddles, orchestrated by the cunning Hedley Lamarr and featuring the character Taggart, portrayed by the incomparable Harvey Korman, is a comedic tour de force that showcases both Mel Brooks's brilliant writing and Korman's impeccable delivery. The full quote, where Lamar outlines the qualifications for his gang, is a testament to the film's ability to turn the absurd into comedic gold. As Lamar delineates the list of individuals he seeks for his gang, the sheer absurdity and over-the-top nature of the descriptors add a layer of humor that plays on the exaggerated stereotypes of the Wild West. From rustlers and cutthroats to nitwits and hornswogglers, the laundry list of characters paints a vivid picture of Lamar's desire for the most unconventional and disreputable members of his gang. The use of alliteration and wordplay adds to the comedic effect, showcasing Mel Brooks' talent for crafting dialogue that is simultaneously witty and ridiculous. Harvey Korman's portrayal of Taggart elevates the scene to another level. Korman, known for his incredible comedic timing, delivers the lines with an intensity that adds an extra layer of humor. Even when reciting some of the goofiest dialogue in the Western genre, Korman's commitment to the character's fervor and determination makes the scene unforgettable. The exaggerated delivery of each category in the list highlights Korman's ability to infuse even the most absurd lines with a sense of urgency and seriousness. The comedic brilliance doesn't stop there. As Lamar finishes listing the qualifications, Taggart, in a moment of comedic clumsiness, drops his notebook, prompting Lamar to repeat the entire list. This clever twist adds a physical element to the humor, turning an already absurd situation into a slapstick moment that enhances the overall comedic impact of the scene. What do you think about the funny lines in Blazing Saddles?